Hi, welcome to another portion of Ruth's Torah Gleaning. Today the portion is Ha-Azenu, which means to give ear. And really it's very important that you kind of understand what that means. It's kind of as in a dog perks up its ears like when it hears something off in the distance and it startles it, so it really puts its ears up. So it's the same with us. When Moses says this term, he's really telling the Israelites to really pay attention to what he's about to say, because it's extremely important. If you read the whole portion, you understand that Moses is about to leave. He is about to die, and he knows it. So his last moment instructions are very, very important for the Israelites. And in Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 1, it says this: "Give ear, O heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth." So he's telling them to really pay attention again to the words that he's about to speak. And then in verse 16 it says this: "They provoked him," God, "to jealousy with foreign gods. With abominations they provoked him to anger." So Moses is telling the Israelites that before that even would happen, that the day was going to come when they would provoke God to jealousy by false gods. And we can look around as Ruth, as Gentiles, and see this is exactly what has happened. That the Jews long ago provoked God to jealousy, and he spread them into the nations, which we knew that he would do according to the Torah. In verse 21, it says, "They provoked me," God, "to jealousy by what is not God. They have moved me to anger by their foolish idols. But I will provoke them to jealousy by those who are not a nation." Now pay close attention to this part right here. "I will move them to anger by a foolish nation." Now, as Gentiles, like Ruth, we are to love the Jews and cause them to have a desire to know their Messiah. So we, as Christians, as believers, are that foolish nation. We're the people that the Jews don't understand. Even though we follow their Bible, they don't have a knowledge, for the most part, of who their Messiah, their Yeshua, is. It says in Romans chapter 11 and verse 11, "I say then, did they stumble that they might fall? God forbid. But by their fall, salvation, Yeshua, has come to the Gentiles, to provoke them, the Jews, to jealousy." And we know in Isaiah chapter 6, it speaks about this very thing, about God causing jealousy to the Jews. And so we know this as a fact. The Jews don't necessarily like to hear this. In other words, if you go to one of your Jewish friends, you might say to them this very thing, and they wouldn't necessarily like it. So, we have to remember in Isaiah 62, in verse 11, the Lord has said, "Behold, the Lord is proclaimed to the end of the earth. Say to the daughter of Zion, say to them, your salvation comes." The interesting thing is that word salvation is in Hebrew the very word or the name Yeshua. So God is telling us, the Gentiles, to go to the Jews in love and tell them that they don't have to stop being Jews. They can't stop being Jews. That they continue to follow their rules. They continue to follow the Torah. But understand that we know who their Messiah is, their Yeshua. So that's our place as Gentiles, as Ruth, to go to the to go to the Jews and tell them that we know their Yeshua, and provoke them to this jealousy that the Bible indeed has given us to do. Have a blessed week in the name of Yeshua, and see you next time. God bless.